Hello people, so One Piece finally came out, and I gotta say, it's one of those chapters that give us a lot more questions than answers. Also, it sets up a lot of things to come within the end of one Act 2 and Act 3. Now, I'm standing by what I said last week. I feel like the way Oda positioned this chapter definitely feels like we're leading more towards the finale. However, he's doing it in a way that makes it not so obvious. And obviously, since Pulp Stampede's out in theatres, it's out in cinemas in Japan. Obviously, we go back to the original cover story with Capone and Chiffon and the rest of the Fightown pirates on the Tartland ships. I believe they're making their way to Lola, so we'll see where that goes. I do find it interesting that usually with these cover stories, it leads to something interesting mostly. I'm thinking about Jinbei and the Poneglyphs, so maybe this is going to lead to something post Wano, maybe. But either way, go into the chapter, and this is what I mean by Oda trying to finish off loose ends. First off, we see Zoro duking it out with Yukimaru, and with one clash, Zoro easily gets the upper hand on Yukimaru. He's like casually sitting down on his chest like a king. At this point, should have no problem dealing with Yukimaru. However, we do get a lot of information on Yukimaru and possibly a connection with Kawamatsu by the end of the chapter, but we don't really know the extent. And this is, in my opinion, one of the most intriguing parts, if not the most intriguing part of the chapter, where we get the insight of Zoro wants obviously Shusui back. That's the reason he's duking it out. Obviously, neither one of them want to kill each other. It's like, you don't want to risk your life for the sword, so give it back. And Yukimaru refuses, like, no, I'm not handing the sword over. This is where we get hyped up on Shusui. So ever since it left Wano, it was stolen from Wano, a stolen treasure. And it befell a lot of misfortune to the point where even the sword god. There is one interesting speech bubble on that page where we see Yukimaru saying Horia. I don't know if that's the name of the sword god he was referring to, but either way, it seems like this sword god may have been in possession of this Jusui before Ryuma. I don't know. We don't really know much about it, which is what I said. It's a lot more intriguing when we get insight like this. And I knew we would get something like this when it comes to building up Shusui. We got it with the Nidai Katetsu back in that one. We got done with that in the anime, where it's a cursed sword. However, it's one of the high-ranking swords. I think it's one of the high 21 ranking swords in the One Piece world. So I'm curious where the falls, but there's been a lot of hype on Shusui. It's not the first time. I'm starting to think maybe my earlier prediction, they're hyping up Zoro for sure, for a reason. And if we're going to meet this sword god or whatever, but even wait, take Zoro by surprise. And he already mentioned something interesting. She's like, oh, Shusui? So that's the second time she's done that. So I'm wondering, is she familiar with the sword? And if she is, how? And is she related to this sword god? The way, the fact that Zoro takes notice of this means we're going to get some sort of information, possibly. But I'm thinking back when we got information about Ryuma dealing with a dragon back in the day, and that's the reason why he became legendary. He became infamous. Well, number one, he was in possession of the Shusui at that point in time, I think. But the fact that they're doing that, and that's another thing too. If Ryuma was from Wano, how was it considered stolen in the first place? Because we know he got brought back to life with in Thriller Bark because thanks to Moria. That's all we knew. We don't really know how he escaped Wano, what led to that, and why he had Shusui in the first place. Could it be the similar circumstance that happened with Zoro? Remember when Zoro defeated Ryuma, he passed on Shusui to Zoro, saying maybe it'll satisfy your need. A lot of interesting things about Shusui right now and Ryuma. Automatically, the more we learn about Shusui, the more it hypes up even more, which hypes up Zoro even more so. And I think it goes beyond just this fight with King the Calamity. I think there was actually a post on Twitter that maybe he's going to be one of the candidates to fight Kaido. And I made this prediction way back in the day, like maybe Zoro's going to be the one to fight Kaido, not take him down, but I mean, who knows? Because it is similar. We have Kaido, who's a dragon. We have Zoro, who obviously needs to get back the possession of Shusui, but the more they do that, the more it hypes it up even further. So let me know what you guys think about that, but I just thought that was interesting to the point that I want more insight into what happened with Ryuma. More specifically, what's so legendary about this Shusui in the first place, and why is it considered a national treasure? Either way, Yukimaru tries to attack Zoro. He easily dodges it. And before that conversation goes any further, in comes Kawamatsu to put a stop to the fight. And I do love, even though Kawamatsu came out of the blue and attacked Zoro, Zoro's still able to block it over his shoulder casually, like, boom, what are you doing? So that was pretty badass. That's cool. We get a reunion of Kawamatsu and Hiyori. Oh boy, do they tease the life out of the Yonko battle. We go to Onigashima where the battle of Kaido and Big Mom is still taking place, and one of the most intriguing parts of the chapter is we found out that a day has passed since that first initial clash. So, wow. So they've been going at it for a day, and you see the subordinates, like, the down below, they're like terrified because they're still going at it. It's going to be nothing left for Onigashima. And even Queen is like scared, but he's not making it so obvious. He's like being a troll. He's like, no, I'm not going to run away. Even though when Big Mom, before she passed out, Queen was thinking about running away because he knew he was fucked. There was no way to take down Big Mom. He's making it up like he's got in contact with Udon Prison when we all know the connection's been cut shut. The signal's been blocked, so thanks to Caribou, so they can't make contact. But Queen is trying to make it seem like it, and what's makes it even more hilarious is the fact that the underlings are aware of this. So I did find it interesting. We didn't see King at all in this chapter, considering what we found out last chapter. Like, he's one of the 3 races that Big Mom wants. There's a lot of emphasis on what that race could be. It could be the Skypians, basically on the wings. And this only stems from the opening that we got in the anime, where I believe his wings were white, but then somebody posted on Twitter they were changed to black. Which, if that's true, and if it is, post in the comments, let me know. But I find that very interesting that they can't kind of keep that hidden. And we don't get King at all in this chapter, but we do get a Queen. And then we switch over. Like I said, Oda's going all over the place to kind of wrap things up in One Act 2. So we go over to where Udon Prison is, and we're going to find out that Babanuki is not only alive, he's already under the influence of Otama because she has the Kibi Dango fruit. So because of that, obviously Zoro types can fall under his control. So it makes sense, even though most people might. We also come to find out Chopper's affected by the virus, including Luffy, so he's back to normal. So that didn't take long at all. So that's why I mean, Oda, he wants things wrapped up before the end of One Act 2, or possibly to end One Act 2 within the next couple of chapters, I would think. We do get an introduction to the Yakuza, the leaders of the Yakuza of Wano. First Udon, then Hakamai, then Ringo, and then finally Kibi. Broken Hat, Tsunagoro. So that's the silhouetted samurai that saw previously. We thought could have been Denjiro, but if anything else, it's kind of making you think, could it be possibly Kirishiro after all? I don't know. Obviously, indebted to Hyogoro, and casually, Luffy's like, oh, these characters, you know these characters? Oh man, and they immediately get offended because obviously Luffy kept talking to Hyogoro in that way. They like pinning him down, trying to chop off his fingernails or something. So that was kind of messed up. But don't do that because obviously I'm indebted to him. Then we go over to Curry Beach, to the port, and we also come to find out that Kinemon has the blueprints for the mansion on Onigashima to Kaido, which I believe wasn't that Frankie's original goal, was to get blueprints for Onigashima. But here it looks like Shutamaru, aka Ajadoji, got those blueprints like that. So that plot point's been taken care of, like I mentioned. So then we go back to Ringo Bandit Bridge, and obviously there's a touching reunion between Kawamatsu, Kappa, and obviously Hiyori, because this is the first time they've seen each other in years. It doesn't even matter because some more underlings of Kaido show up. They blast Gyukimaru, and then they try to follow us to yours, obviously Kawamatsu they're after. So are these followers of yours? Doesn't matter. Before you get this epic panel of like Zoro and Kawamatsu, and Zoro's about to do something, but then Kawamatsu uses his technique to take these guys out. Like, it's nothing. Goes any further, we see Gyukimaru with the Shusui running off, and he's tearing up, saying, "Oh, Kawamatsu, so you are alive." Okay, so obviously he knows Kawamatsu, but we don't know how. So that's the cliffhanger. I did find it interesting that once again Shusui is out of Zoro's reach. So the more they do that, the more they're going to give us some insight. much like the Big Mom Kaido flashback, I want to learn more about this, especially now, because the more, like I said, the more they do this, the more insight we get, the more they hype it up. Hype Zoro gets for the battle in Onigashima. Like I said, what do you guys think? You think it's hyping Zoro up to not only take down, obviously, King the Wildfire, but also possibly Kaido? I don't know. The stars are aligned if you ask me, but it depends. Obviously, we have the Supernova Alliance, possibly, but maybe Oda's going to go another direction that we didn't even think possible. So that's what I'm thinking. Big Mom and Kaido are still clashing. The panels are kind of shaded, so it's hard to tell if they took any damage, if at all. So it looks like an even battle at this point, and they've been going on it for a day. I personally think we will go back to that, but because to show you, Oda obviously not wanting to make things predictable, he did go back to it quickly. I thought it was a pretty decent chapter all in all. It does hype up the sword Shusui, in my opinion, and it hypes up Zoro by default. So let's clash with Kaido and Big Mom. Maybe something that the anime, considering the new direction they're taking, maybe they'll expand more upon this. Maybe. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Please tell me yours in the comments. That's going to do it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this review if you did. Subscribe to channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys.